believe that.
So,
I don't believe because
So what do you believe? Because you hired an investigator?
Yeah, I hired investigators for it because I didn't believe, like, for Tiffany.
Excuse us. Make way, please.
Chris Lighty's death is labeled a suicide.
Right.
I can't live with that.
I can't fathom that because this is the first I seen. You see, Nori, this is the first that was somebody. So I could never, ever see Chris doing something to himself.
That's true, so your family feel you should do the investigation?
No question.
Okay, why is that?
I just feel that there's a lot of unanswered questions. And I need answers.
You need answers?
Yeah.
You don't feel like...
These receipts from the latest autopsy report were just released by 50 Cent. The evidence that Diddy was responsible for Chris's death has finally surfaced. 50 discovered that Diddy had arranged an odd ritual celebration for Chris's death, so they hired a fresh private investigator. Furthermore, Diddy instructed the audience to create noise rather than keeping a hush for Chris, in addition to being impolite. That is demonic. Because of this, 50 wants to know the truth about this for sure. Chris Lighty, it turns out, was more than simply a famous Def Jam music executive. He belonged to the family of 50 Cent. Additionally, 50 never recognized the official version of Chris' suicide date. I had lost the man who had led my career over the mountaintops and through the depths, Chris Lighty. In an effort to learn the truth about Chris Lighty's death, 50 Cent has engaged a fresh private investigator. 50 is determined this time to establish Diddy's involvement in Chris's demise.
Grieving mother, superstar artist 50 Cent has brought in a high-powered team to investigate the hip-hop mogul's death.
Lighty dollar deals and oversaw the careers of stars like 50 Cent and Diddy. The New York City medical examiner's judgment, however, continues to surprise many of his friends. The family contacted Dr. Michael Baden, a former medical examiner in New York City, to do a second autopsy.
The cause of death, clear as a gunshot wound to the head. The manner of death, accident, homicide, till
during Diddy's trial in Rico, which is why 50 is bringing this up again. The mainstream media, however, paid it absolutely no attention. After watching the entire Cassie and Kid Cudi event, Capricorn Clark, Diddy's former aide, testified that Diddy dismissed her. When Diddy's attorney questioned Capricorn about her post-fire activities, she replied, "I was hired by Chris Lighty to work for 50 Cent. What happened with the job with Chris Lighty?" The U.S. lawyer now questioned Capricorn as part of her cross-examination. In reference to Chris Lighty, Diddy's lawyer did not raise this matter or make any other inquiries. She added, "He died the day before I was supposed to start. It was unrelated to a position at Interscope at the time. I instructed Puff not to bother me." The judge upheld it, although Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifil, objected right away. What then would scare Diddy's lawyer so badly if Capricorn brought up Chris Lighty? She was blacklisted, according to Capricorn, when Diddy sacked her. But Mark Agnifil also raised an objection, and the judge affirmed her assertion. Clearly, something is wrong here. After Capricorn witnesses Diddy viciously hitting Cassie and setting off Kid Cudi's car, Diddy fires him. Following Diddy's dismissal, Capricorn finds new employment with 50 Cent through Chris Lighty. Yet, the day before her start date, Chris ends his own life. It's already unusual, but we're about to find something even stranger. The official account of Chris's passing is available here. On August 30th, 2012, Chris was discovered dead outside his South Riverdale, Bronx house. They blasted his head through. Furthermore, NBC New York revealed the next day that Chris had committed suicide. Approximately 11:30 a.m., Chris was discovered per the same report. There was also a 9mm handgun next to him, face up, on the basement's rear patio, according to a law enforcement source. Soon after, the media began fabricating the narrative. There are reports that Chris battled with his estranged wife, Veronica, prior to his death. Some claim that Chris was upset because he owed a large sum to the IRS. Nevertheless, all of these stories were refuted by 50 Cent and other individuals who knew Chris well. In a subsequent interview with Drink Champs, 50 openly stated that he didn't think Chris committed suicide. Reportedly, Chris was also having financial difficulties, but he disputed this. Given that Chris had recently regained the money he had lost, 50 said he was actually doing extremely well financially. The $1 million he had borrowed from 50 was also returned by him.
Chris managed me basically my whole career. I'm sorry to ask this question, but we were going to both ask this question. Do you think he committed suicide?
I don't believe that. He got money, but it was tied in the investments that he would have lost. He would have had penalties if he pulled out before the time period. So I said, I give you $1 million and you just give it back to me. You know, when the thing is like on the time periods, like we'll make periods and he said, all right, cool. He didn't even ask, I said I'd give it to you because it didn't make sense for me to we make too much money together for you to be under those. I'm not sure you're gonna work the same.
Right.
If you got that type of pressure on you. This is going to skip you miss it. They didn't miss no family vacations, no nothing.
All right.
Everything's happening the way it would happen at any other point. So the crazy part is at the time that I'm actually getting the phone call from him, is me telling him, look, he's saying, yo, that's already dealt with. Cause like time went by,
He's talking about what is it when he says
he gave me back the $1 million, Lord.
Oh, he gave you back.
So the money that I had loaned him, the $1 million,
right.
At the time that right before he passed away, is us having a conversation like, yo, talk to your people because all that money, you know, I did that. That's dope. It's all back now. So he's telling me.
What amount of time is that? Like
that was
2 weeks later?
Nah, it's an 8-month time period.
Okay.
But in the 8-month time,
he gave it with the profit?
He put the money back, the $1 million back.
Untimely death. Chris arranged for 50 Cent to embark on a global tour. According to a second source close to Chris, who spoke to Fox,
was not deep in a bottomless financial hole and that he had just secured a world tour for 50 Cent for next year, which
also dismissed by other authorities as the cause of his suicide. According to this Daily Mail piece, Veronica Lighty denied engaging in physical altercations with Chris prior to his passing. Chris did not kill himself, though, according to his relatives. Additionally, Dave Lighty, Chris's brother, asserted in an interview with Sway in the Morning that all of the accusations of foul play were true.
Rumors and things swirling around your brother's death. I'm not even gonna ask you about that. Okay?
Well, the rumors are just.
Dave said the family felt the police closed the case too soon, so they were looking into it on their own.
Swirling around your brother's death. I'm not even gonna ask you about that. Okay?
Well, the rumors are justified.
They're justified?
I believe so.
Dave also confirmed that the family was pursuing their own investigation because they believed the police closed the case too quickly.
You know, one of the things that people have been talking about is an investigation that's going on. Is that true?
Definitely.
That's true, so your family feel you should do the investigation?
No question.
Okay, why is that?
I just feel that there's a lot of unanswered questions. And I need answers.
You need answers?
Yeah.
You don't feel like he took his own life?
Nah, you know, I was with my brother almost every day. Till the last couple of months because I was going to school. So that's not my brother.
That's not in his
DNA.
DNA.
Not my brother. I know we were all going through stressful times. Everybody was. Shit, the economy is terrible right now. But at the same time, man, Chris was a go-getter. You know, the ultimate non-stopping machine.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just not something that I would see him putting upon the rest of us and everybody that he knows.
AB then asserted that Chris was incapable of taking his own life. He asked even if the NYPD mishandled the case. As per AB, NYPD just went on what they thought. I don't want to live anymore isn't expressed by anything in the house. It took him a long time to feel good. In what way might he have done that? To solve the problem, 50 Cent intervened at that point and started collaborating with private investigator Les Levine. 50 regarded Chris like family, you see. 50 frequently stated that without Chris's help, he would not have been able to accomplish it. It was almost painful to listen to 50's audiobook, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, as he described the moment he found out about Chris's passing.
A track I just done with Alicia Keys, when I received the urgent phone call from a friend. He had devastating news. Chris Lighty, my longtime friend and manager, was dead. I had been standing in the middle of a bustling office, but when I heard the words "Chris is dead," it was like the noise around me suddenly turned off. I can't believe I just heard you say those words to me, I told my friend. Say it again so I'm sure I'm hearing you right. But there was no miscommunication, no mistake. Chris Lighty, The man who helped guide my career, both through the valleys and over the mountaintops, was gone. Even more devastatingly, I was being told that he had shot himself. That Chris Lighty, one of the smartest, most self-assured, and most motivated people I'd ever met, had decided to take his own life.
Did Tiffany, Chris's daughter, and his will further showed how much Chris mattered to him and
up to that promise, rewriting my will to include her. I'm so supportive of Tiffany that I didn't even flip when she knocked the mirror off one of the Lambos I let her drive.
viewed by 50 as much more than just a business partner. While he was still out marketing his mixtapes, Chris first met 50. Soon after founding Violator Management in 1996, Chris began managing 50 and they clicked right away. LL Cool J, Mariah Carey, and Busta Rhymes are just a few of the well-known artists who have performed on Violator before. Toward the end of the 1990s, 50 was added. Chris was in his 50s and had been guiding him through his career from a comparatively young age. Thus, you can only imagine how 50 would feel if they found out that Chris might have been taken out by Diddy. The situation becomes somewhat gloomy at this point. 50 Cent had a private investigator named Leigh Levine. According to his assessment, Chris was not suicidal. I guess it comes down to the question, do I believe that Chris killed himself? On Fox News, according to Levine, no is the answer. Moreover, Levine declared, Chris has no possibility whatsoever of committing over money or over his union. He had too many other options, Levine continued. 50 Cent supported Levine's remarks by telling Fox soon before he passed away that Chris had recently agreed to collaborate with him on a $4 million tour agreement. Other business insiders began openly expressing their disbelief that Chris committed suicide in the interim. Tony Yayo, a longtime friend of Chris, claimed on Drink Champs that the official cause of death was absurd.
I can't fathom that, because this is the first I seen with the G-Wagon. This is the first I seen get fly. You know what I'm saying? This is the first where we used to come to Violator. That's when it was, you know, they had Busta, they had Diddy, they had Foxy. I'm coming there, you see Freeway, you see Nori. This is the first that was somebody. So I could never ever see Chris doing something to himself. And he's always gonna get money because fucking when it comes to that G-Unit brand and that 50 brand, Chris Lighty and Violator play a major part in
February song, he rapped about Chris Lighty, causing hip-hop to express sorrow and ask about Chris's passing. He helped me in my profession. The two of us accepted a $1 million deal. What killed him? Anyone familiar with Chris understands that their assertions are untrue. The results of the second autopsy that Chris's family chose to have done in the interim were never released to the public for whatever reason. Then what does this mean? Is anyone being bought off? Why did the public debate about the involvement of certain industry figures in foul play become so heated? Surely they didn't think Chris committed suicide? The entire plot, however, abruptly vanishes. It's very obvious why, yes. That's right, exactly. According to many, Diddy staged Chris's death as self-inflicted by using his law enforcement connections and influence to conceal the true investigation. 50 Cent's current suspicion that Diddy killed Chris Lighty has a darker explanation thanks to this. Chris used to have Diddy as his manager, and Diddy went to Chris's burial. Do you know what Diddy managed to do in a single day, though? From Brafash Manisaj Front. The moment Chris's body was discovered, his party was held. It isn't just any party, though. According to him, it's the city's hottest party. In Paris, Las Vegas, the event was held at the Chateau nightclub and gardens on September 1st, 2012, and continued till the next morning. In case you were wondering why the celebration was a tribute to Chris, Diddy told the gathering, according to E! News, they all make noise instead of keeping a minute of silence, Diddy suggested. I was skeptical of Diddy's strange homage, too. Rather than grieving the loss of his former manager alone, Sean Diddy Combs honored his late friend Chris Lighty in front of hundreds of guests at his annual Labor Day celebration in Las Vegas on Saturday night, stated the statement. Furthermore, E claims that Diddy said to his guests, "We don't do moments of silence. We produce a noise for 3 seconds." You might be thinking, this sounds like another Whitney Houston situation, and it's giving off major ritual vibes. But you are not alone. A new private investigator was allegedly recruited by 50 Cent to investigate Chris's death after hearing his name mentioned during Diddy's trial. 50 himself apparently looked at the receipt as he was filming his upcoming documentary about Diddy. After Chris passed away, he learned that Diddy had hosted a strange ceremonial celebration the day before. But let me demonstrate something that is truly horrifying. Diddy attended that party wearing this ensemble. Look at the symbols on his t-shirt, they may not appear like much at first. For those who are unfamiliar, this is the Star of Ishtar. It's no ordinary sign. In ancient Mesopotamia, the Star of Ishtar was associated with a deity. Aristocratic initiation, occult power, sacrifice, worship, and ceremonies. It has symbolized the passage from life to death for thousands of years. Additionally, it continues to appear in media about secret societies to this day. In the film Eyes Wide Shut, for instance, Ishtar's star frequently appears in scenes where elites don masks to carry out ceremonial procedures. You have likely already heard about Diddy's involvement in occult practices such as animal sacrifice. Among other dark arts, interview
to receive the verdict back for this 1999 club shooting case. So, years ago, decades ago at this point. But Diddy allegedly made a pit stop in Central Park. He met a man, and they allegedly took part in some sort of ritualistic killing that was supposed.
Significance of the day Chris passed away and Diddy's fixation on killing 50 Cent. Everything was too close to each other. In addition, Diddy wore the same insignia on his t-shirt for the Chris Memorial event. After it was recently disclosed that Diddy used to host these strange full moon rituals for idol worship, many people thought it was too good to be true. Additionally, Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, claimed that these customs would fall on the birthdays of Diddy's close friends who passed away in dubious circumstances.
When he spoke about the winter solstice. And that's when the pagans and people who believe in the cult was looking for that moon on 12/12 at 12 a.m. And they were doing spiritual rituals at that time. That's when that was going to be the last day of the full moon. And that means that the seasons and all that stuff has changed. But when you get into that spiritual realm stuff, it was when people they went and they paid homage to certain sacrifices and homage to certain idols. And on the third day, they would drink, party, be merry, and the men would have sex with each other. If you don't believe it, look it up for yourself. It was the last day of the full moon. And because it landed on 12/12 at 12, that's when ritual sacrifices and prayers and everything was given to certain idols. And on the third day, they drank, they be merry and be happy, and the men would give gifts to each other and have sex with each other. So it was bigger than that. And he gave his day on my man's birthday. 3 days after the full moon, 3 days after the last moon, on 12/12, 12 a.m.